Hello and welcome to this very special edition of Sofico, and by very special I mean I've just not done this before and thought I'd call it special. Hope you're all doing well. What I'm going to be doing today is showing you 3 simple dishes that I make when I'm really running low on time, when I'm running low on money, but they're still low waste. And these are so easy. I don't want to stress that. They are so freaking easy. Because I don't know about you, but the amount of times that I find myself with just no time whatsoever and I have to eat and I want to eat something that's relatively satisfying and healthy, I guess. So that's what I wanted to help you guys do. I would say that obviously the best thing you can do is to create fresh meals from scratch, but let's be realistic, we don't all have the time to do that. So, without further ado, let's start with the first recipe. If you can call it a recipe. The first dish, we'll call it that. So, the first dish is a kind of veggie sausage vegetable stew type thing. I guess we'll call it a sausage casserole, just to make it sound a lot fancier than it actually is. All it is a can of vegetable soup. I've got this I've got this tin of Tesco's own brand vegetable soup, and that's gonna work perfectly well for this. And then I've got some Linda McCartney's vegetarian sausages. Now, the tin that the vegetable soup comes in, that is completely recyclable, as is the cardboard packaging that the Linda McCartney sausages come in, but you could easily substitute this for any other vegetarian sausage that also comes in cardboard packaging. So we're just going to prep the soup first of all. I'm going to undo this can here. I've got a ring pull can, so that makes things a lot easier. And then, yes, I've got a plastic bowl to put it in, but it was a plastic bowl that already existed and it works perfectly well. So I'm putting the soup into this plastic bowl, ready to go into the microwave, because yes, that's how quick and easy we're talking here. Stuff that can just easily go in the microwave. And then we obviously need to cover the plastic bowl. And normally I would use these wonderful, I think they're silicone, this kind of silicone material cover. And these are normally great. I use these for covering up beans, soup, whatever it is that I'm putting in the microwave. But I hadn't realised that my large size sheet was already in use, and that the bowl that I chose to put the soup in was a bigger size one than I would normally choose. So I kind of failed quite a few times trying to get this silicone sheet to stretch. It would not stretch. But I decided, let's go with the simple option of using a plate. So there's your lesson, everyone. Don't need these fancy gadgets to cover your soup. You can just use a plate. Now for the vegetarian sausages. So I've already preheated the oven as requested. Well, not requested, as stated on the packaging. And I'm just going to pop 3 of those sausages on this little baking tray here. And then we're going to pop that in the already heated oven. I'm putting it on for 10 minutes and then it should be okay after that. And while that is in the oven, we're going to put the soup in the microwave. Now, on the packaging here, it says to put it in for a grand total of 3.5 minutes, 2 minutes, and then give it a stir, and then 1.5 minutes. And that's exactly what I am going to do, so that I will then end up with this wonderful bowl of steaming hot soup. Now, the sausages are done. Sometimes I like to cook these so that they're really kind of golden and crisp, but because I'm putting them into this soup, I kind of want them to soak up the flavours and to be a bit more squishy, but you could keep them in the oven to crisp up a little bit more. What I'm then going to do is to just chop those into small pieces. I usually cut these into about 4 pieces each, and then we just drop them into the soup. Really classy, really classy. I usually give it a little stir then, just to kind of coat the sausages with the flavours of the soup. And then that is your quote-unquote sausage casserole. It's a really quick and simple and tasty dish. I would normally eat these 2 things separately, but combining them together, it's just kind of, you've got all the different flavours of the soup with the kind of protein and the substance of the veggie sausages. So it's just, really a hearty winter dish. Okay, so the second dish that I have for you all are these delicious stuffed peppers. Now, these take a little bit longer than the other dishes, but they're still super easy, so I'm going to include them anyway. So basically what you're going to need is a pepper. I've got a red pepper here, but as you will see later on, I do also include a yellow pepper, and a tin of vegetable chili. Now, technically you could use any tin of chili that you want to, but the vegetable chili is the one that my local Tesco does, so that's the one that I got. So what I did was I sliced the pepper in half lengthways, and then you got to pull out all the I don't know what the bits inside of a pepper are actually called, like the fleshy bits, the bits that are not like the proper pepper bit. Oh wow, that's pretty much a tongue twister in itself, isn't it? But yes, you get all of those out. I did that off camera because I did that over my food waste bin, and that's kind of gross and icky, and you don't want to see that really. And then I got my tin of chili, undid the tin of chili. Again, it's a nice little ring pull, makes that nice and simple for me. I got out a baking tray and I put the two halves of the pepper on there. You can see I've taken all the gross fleshy bits out. And then I'm just going to spoon from the tin into the peppers. And this was why I brought along my yellow pepper as well, because I only used like half of the tin of chili and I filled up the peppers and didn't really want the other half of the tin to go to waste, so I chopped up, well, I didn't chop up at all, that's a lie. I chopped in half a yellow pepper and that joined the red pepper as well. I filled that one up, and so I actually made myself dinner for 2 nights in a row, so I really class that as a win, to be honest with you. So next I put the peppers into the preheated oven, and this is where it takes a little bit longer. So I put them in for 40 minutes. I did turn them around halfway through, and that means that this recipe is probably not the best for those nights when you just kind of want to get to bed as soon as possible. But it is great if you've got stuff that you need to be doing and you don't really want to be stood over a stove all evening. You just stick it in the oven and it does its thing. It does its own little thing. And so I got them out, and obviously they kind of sploshed, splooped, splummed everywhere, because it would be just far too simple for my stuffed peppers to actually stay in one piece. So that's alright though. That's alright, because they're still going to taste good. And so what I did was I served the peppers up, and I served it up with some leftover couscous. And I really think this is a great recipe for if you have got some leftovers. Like, you could use leftover salad, leftover couscous like I did, leftover rice, leftover pasta, anything that you've got that is left over, you can just serve up on the side with these, and it just kind of goes. So it's also good in that sense because it's using up your leftover food so that doesn't go to landfill either. And there we go. There is my delicious zero waste, well, not zero waste, but low waste dinner. And the third and final dish I have for you today is jacket potato with baked beans, but with a twist. This is just kind of a nice new flavour combination on a classic. So for this, you're obviously going to need a tin of baked beans. How else are you going to have baked beans? And then I've also got a sweet potato. Sweet potatoes are great because not only do they taste so freaking good, they also actually count as one of your 5 a day, which normal white potatoes don't. So just consider that when you're walking down the vegetable aisle next and you're considering which potatoes to buy. So what I did was I gave my potato a little wash and little scrub off camera. I didn't really want to risk getting water all over my camera today. And then I just put it on the plate and made sure to give it lots of pricks with a fork all over to make sure that it's not going to explode when I put it in the microwave, because yes, that's exactly where it's going. It is going straight in the microwave for 5-minute intervals. I normally do it for. This one needed 10 minutes in total, 5 minutes and then 5 minutes. But I find that doing it 5 minutes at a time gives you a kind of good idea of what you're doing. So obviously there's very definitely a recurring theme in this series. I'm going to open the tin of beans and just pour it into another little plastic pot that I've got here for it. Don't mind the stains that are all around this one, it still works perfectly well, so it's still getting used. And then this is where the twist comes in. So you can pretty much flavour the beans with literally whatever you want, but personally one of my favourite combinations is a little bit of all-purpose seasoning and a little bit of hot curry powder. Now technically this is not plastic free per se. I'm doing little air quotes here. I'm literally doing the air quotes even though you can't see them, so just appreciate that for a moment. But considering how little plastic it uses in the long run, I feel like it's kind of okay. And I am also looking into ways that I could maybe get these plastic free, but I feel like that's a long shot. But anyway, I'm just going to add a little sprinkling of all-purpose seasoning and then a slightly bigger serving of hot curry powder. But you can adjust it to your own tastes and add something different if you fancy it. And then we're just going to give it a big old stir to mix all those flavours together. And of course that's going to go in the microwave as well. Now we're not going to make the same mistake that we did with the stew, that was quote unquote casserole. So we're going to cover that up with a plate. And as soon as the jacket potato is out of the microwave, we're going to put that straight in. Now the jacket potato is done, so we're just going to cut that open and pull it wide open so it's like a nice wide base for the beans to go on. And look at the steam coming off that. I am already so hungry just looking at this. And then once the beans are done, I normally put them in the microwave for about 2 minutes. I find that with our microwave that normally does it, but of course you can adjust that to what your microwave normally does, because I realise they're all different and sometimes a little temperamental. So once they're done, we're just going to pour those beans over the potato here. You can kind of see there was a moment where I paused and I wondered whether I was going to stop with the beans to make it look a bit more aesthetic. And then I clearly went, screw it, I want all these beans. Here they go all over my potato. I hadn't really eaten properly all day, so I was starving by the time it came to this. So that's why I had all the beans for me, please. But obviously, if you have actually eaten a decent amount that day, you can, not eat all of the beans in one go. But hashtag YOLO, right? I'm pretty sure that's not what they meant by hashtag YOLO, but we're rolling with it for today. And there you go. There is your jacket potato with beans with a twist. And this tasted so good. I really can't reiterate enough how so freaking good, how tasty this was. And I don't think I'm just saying that because I was really hungry. I think I'm saying that because I really mean it. But you're just gonna have to try it for yourself and see if you agree with me. And that's it for this video. I hope you found this useful, either in thinking of inspiration for what to cook for dinner, or just for making you feel hungry while your dinner's cooking. Either way, I hope it's been helpful. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a little thumbs up and comment below if you are planning on trying any of these recipes, or if you have any other ideas for recipes that use minimal packaging with a great taste and that are also super quick, super cheap, super easy to do. All of the recipes in this range came to around the £1 mark per portion, so that's quite cheap, especially in 2019 Britain. That's quite cheap. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Well, I'll probably do some more food videos, but I'll definitely do some more videos on a weekly basis as per usual. So I'm going to do my normal thumb thing in the air, and you're not going to be able to see it because this is a voice recording, but I will see you next time.